everyone, it's Barry here. Welcome to my Virgin Kitchen. I hope you are well. Today is a giant food that has been requested for quite a while. In fact, maybe I should say Kinder a while? Kinder egg. Yes, we are attempting to make a giant Kinder egg. I am excited about it because, yeah, we're going to make a custom mold that I can reuse again with Easter coming up. I'm going to do a giant Easter egg very soon after this if it works. So Stuart Ashton told me that Kinder eggs aren't allowed in America. Something about having a toy encased in something. Is that right? I don't know. I was on Google Maps. Whoops. Wrong app. Maybe there's a place called Kinder Egg Island or something. I don't know. Are Kinder eggs banned in America? Yes, the glorious chocolate treats with a little toy in the middle, which before you say it are too big to be a choking hazard. Kinder eggs are actually made by the same firm that looks after Nutella. Oof. They've been outlawed in the States since the 1930s because of an old act which deems it violates both Consumer Product Safety Commission and Food and Drug Administration regulations. It outlines that any food with a non-nutritive object embedded, hence the toy, is strictly illegal. Apparently in 2011, 60,000 Kinder eggs were seized by US Customs. Amazing. So yeah, it kind of like is, well, you can pull it apart just about. You've got a milk chocolate outer, a white chocolate innard, which we'll copy, and a toy inside. So we'll try and replicate this whole thing. I think Ashton's told me that you can get eggs that are just slightly not sealed together like that. Alternative versions in America. But yeah, it's quite thin chocolate. Kids love it. Big kids love it. Oh, let's do it. First things first, the mould. You might remember from the giant Cadbury's cream egg, that was actually made out of a lampshade, which was expensive and still actually available in the range here in the UK. A lot of people buy it and tweet me and go, oh, Barry, I bought the egg mould. This is a big balloon and it costs something like £1 on eBay and it gets big. It's even quite hard to get your mouth around that. So we're going to blow this up for our mould. I'll get Homer to help me. Nah. It's getting big, but it's got a bit of a teat on it. And an egg, we want more of a rounder. Okay? Oh, I just let some out. Damn it. Ah. Incidentally, I'm also getting loads of requests to make a giant chocolate button. Right? One of these. All I would do with that is get a giant, like, hula hoop, fill it with chocolate under some baking parchment. If you really want me to do that, maybe in the new house in the garden, actually. I'll do it, but hey. Yes, that's an egg shape, right? Kinda? Yeah, that'll do. Oh, it's really hard to tie a knot. My hands are so slippy. Ah, damn it, this is hard. Stage 1 done, not in balloon. Not as easy as it looks. Stage 2, I bought a washing up bowl because we're going to make some paper mache. I think this will do it. Tacky PVA glue, yeah. I'm just trying to remember the ratio. Do you know what? I feel like having a break and opening the toy, but there'll be time for that in a bit. Paper mache ratio, water.
3/4 white glue to 1/4 water. Option 3 to 1 part flour to 1 part water. Stir together. And option 2, cook method, 1 part flour to 5 parts water.
Alright. Oh yeah, that's the bad stuff. I better be opening some windows in here soon. I feel like I'm flying around this room in a minute. See that? Yeah. Worst dumbbells ever. Alright, that'll do. Alright, that's all blended in. That'll do nicely. Alright, so I popped to the shop and got 5 newspapers. They're identical newspapers. That doesn't matter, because we're paper macheing this thing down there. So I've got so much newspaper because 1, I want to coat that in a couple of different layers, and 2, I need to protect my table both for this and for when we do the wrapper. Kind of for this first day, we're going quite arts and crafty. Crikey, I was going to do some birthday shout-outs, but they're all bereavements. We won't do that. Cool. Let's do my strips. But one thing I've got to work out is how the heck I'm going to get it to stand up. Look at that. Looks a bit like a Death Star, doesn't it? I'm gonna keep going, wrapping bigger sheets around it. We're done. We are done. Oh. There are 4 layers of newspaper on this thing. I'm just gonna let it dry. The next step is making the wrapper. They had these Kinder Egg Joy. I've never opened one of those before. Oh wow, that's weird. Is that a spoon? Oh, so there's a toy in one half. Oh wow, look at that. Ah, okay. So you got the white and then the milk under it, and then these sort of like ball things. Oh, that's naughty. That stuff's effectively white Nutella, I think. Anyhow, I'm going to turn this into this. So I've only got orange, white and black paint, but we'll have some fun with it. We'll put a little cheeky Kinder pun on there. Kinda. I've just realised how wide this egg actually is and how little height I have with my foil. So I'm going to have to do it in like 2 or 3 things. The most important thing is to work out where the front of the egg is going to be. So once I tuck it in, I'll have some extra spare foil that I'll just paint orange to stick on the bottom and then white for the top. But first we're going to lacquer our foil, because if you paint on foil, as we found out on the giant dime bar, it just peels off. That was hard. Kinda big. That wrapper was blooming intense. I am not Picasso by any means, but I think I got half it up my arm. This thing is still wet. That's probably been about an hour and a half it's taken me to do that wrapper. So the next natural step is to cut this in half to create our mould, and then we'll line it with white chocolate and then the milk. But as it's damp, I don't feel like putting a hairdryer. I'm going to let it dry naturally and just have a break. Oh, I'm going to open the toy. I guess what I'm saying is, if this goes into tomorrow now, I'm kind of happy with my progress. I just need to kind of tidy up a little bit, because Mrs. Barry's going to rip my head off. Before I do that though, let's look at our toy. And really the kids should be doing this. DC Superhero Girls. Oh look, there's Wonder Woman on there, I think, and Supergirl. Okay, and we've got a character that I don't recognise. Oh, it doesn't even say her name on it. Well, that's her. She looks like some sort of panther. Toys used to be a lot more complicated and fun, but this is literally just putting a torso together, sticking her in there like that. I will put a toy inside this Kinder Egg. I'm just not sure if we're going to get to that point yet. I have literally been sat in this same spot for about 15 minutes, just sort of taking a step back, appreciating what we've already done. But I don't think... Now, let's not like beat around the bush here. That is a big balloon. I want to put more on it. So I'm going to put 2 more layers on, which will probably mean that this is now going to roll into tomorrow, but that's fine. I'm going to put 2 layers on, but of good quality, thick copier paper that I use for the printer, again with some PVA. So I'll do that in a minute. Long story short, I've just got back from the shops and bought some really good quality printer paper. You know, not the stuff that you'd get at school, like the real decent thick, like 8-ply stuff. And I looked on a Paperm&acirc forum, and apparently you're supposed to do layers every 24 hours. I've never done that. The good news is Mrs. Barry is out tomorrow, so she can help me hopefully finish this off. But we might go into the night a bit. I don't know. I also made the mistake of taking a picture of this and putting it on social media, and Dan ch&eacute and Ashens were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So it better work now. Little update. Mrs. Barry's home, all right? Kids are home as well, watching telly. I realised it's been drying out. I'm not that helpful. I'm not that helpful. I'm not that hopeful this is going to firm up. If you mix equal parts water and flour, you get kind of like the same thing, like a papier-mâché glue. So I've kind of created a top lid bit there to seal that in, although it does look a little bit like a baby's been sick on it. I think that's fine. I might still paint it later if it dries. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Egg Watch. It's 10 o'clock at night, folks. I'm about to go to bed. I was going to paint it, but it hasn't completely dried yet. I'm feeling it. I'm like, oh, it's going to be dry, but it's really, really damp still. So hopefully, as it dries overnight, that will really cling together those layers and give it some strength because it's still a little bit... So maybe we'll paint it first thing in the morning because that paint dries super quick. More importantly than that, we can start to put our chocolate in it. But anyhow, I'm going to bed and I'll see you in the morning. It's pretty dry now and I was going to paint it. I still might, but what I found is some tape for all the boxes we've been doing for moving house. I'm going to wrap it in that. Maybe not all of it, but some of it. It's a bit harder than it looks. I've kind of made something that looks a little bit like Humpty Dumpty crossed with a Death Star. I run out of tape, so I'm going to paint the other white areas with black acrylic paint. Everything alright?
Is that the tape for the boxes for moving house that you've just used all of?
Nope, that's not the tape for moving house. I'm turning it into a century egg. Yeah. Even adding the acrylic paint apparently will give it some stability now it's dried out. It's not water-based too, so I'm definitely doing this. I'm going to use a string and a spirit level app I've got on my phone just to try and get a relatively straight line so I can cut through it carefully and hopefully we shall be left with the two shells. Mrs. Barry and I have just had a briefing. We're going to try and make this kind of stay level-ish on some tea towels. Such a kid, sorry. So that's on the top of it. Hey, that's nearly bang on, that is. Ah, so it's going to be about right, you know. All right, we think we're central. I'm not going to cut it straight anyway, so it's a big old egg.
Heavy.
It's heavy, man.
Good for workout. Like one of those exercise balls.
It just looks completely out of proportion to you. Let the careful cutting commence with a butter knife. Let the careful cutting commence with a bread knife. Nailed it. Be right back. Need some more knives. You alright over there?
Fine.
This is a very sharp craft knife that I've got for mini foods. It's now for giant foods.
That's better. Oh, it's shrinking.
Oh no! The balloon's shrinking. Oh no! It's okay, because I got another balloon. I just want to open it up now, just to see what happened. Oh, it would have worked though.
Yeah.
It was just still so wet.
Some size of steak.
In some places it's like fully dried and strong, like this bit is really holding its shape, but the other bit didn't. So we're just going to jump to doing exactly the same that you've seen the last few days. Now. Just got back from the shops. We're going to do a strong one this time, baby. Contractors PVA, which they use on building sites, really strong adhesive. We're mixing that with flour, no water, so it's just like poof. Also, this is what my toy thing's going to go in and paint this yellow. This is Mrs. Barry's second ever time paper mache in.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's going much better though. That mixture down there is so much thicker and we're brushing it on, okay? And it's nearly dried, that top layer already, and we still haven't flipped it. Yesterday I was soaking it and it was dripping, there was too much water. This is just glue and flour. Nice. Right, giant Kinder egg. I was going to be opening you today, but I got scared from the first egg, so left it another day. So instead, I just made these homemade British treats. But the egg is now dry. I might give it a lick of paint later, and then we'll crack on. This is your evening update.
Hello.
Hello. Phoebe is painting the egg for me now. It's fully dried. And we're going to let this fully dry. I can hear the balloon rattling in there, but this is holding its shape. Yes. No. Oh. We'll go again. Now that was really strong. I have one other idea where I'm going to use a wire mesh to help support the structure. So I ordered 5 balloons on eBay 2 days ago because I thought it could still fail. So that's what I'm going to do. Yay. Explain to the camera what you just said to me.
I said, why didn't you just try and save it?
Oh, it could still work.
Maybe. Just cut it like you wanted to.
That line's a bit straight now.
And then go from there.
Alright, let's try it. Hey! Yeah, there's the balloon. It could work if we push it out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's here.
Oh my gosh!
It's worked.
We can push that out. I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, look,
Oh.
look.
Hey!
Don't tell me we could have done this the other day.
We might be able to do that the other day. But I do believe that I should really next time have put a wire mesh in it to give it proper structure. Mrs. B, the...
Yes, we don't have to do any more paper mache.
I don't know though, maybe we should.
No.
Oh my gosh. Like these little areas that are pops, you can just push them back out.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason why I bought 3 of these rolls.
Ah. What are you doing? Careful, there's a sofa there.
Cling film is the way. Yeah.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay. Excuse me.
Look at the static on him there. Basics white chocolate. And it's scary that it's the same colour scheme as a Kinder Egg. Huh? Penny's dropped. Don't worry.
Colour scheme is this Kinder Egg, isn't that what we're doing?
The wrapper.
Oh, we're in the start now.
Don't. This has been hard work. We're nearly there. Right?
Yes.
The pug's ripped up the wrapper. Alright, I've kind of rescued it. Damn you, pugs! That'll do. That will do. You forget there's actually a yellow Tupperware box in that. Bit random, eh? So we've just opened the bifold doors to replicate a fridge to try and cool down the egg quicker. It is working, but it is blue and cold in the house now. Alright, it's time to bring this video to an end.
Oh, at last.
The egg has set overnight. Our kids are kind of excited. They don't know why they've got a hammer, but they'll see. We now got to wrap this egg in a partially savaged by pugs Kinder Egg wrapper.
Do you know what? It just felt a little bit like it's not meant to be, but you've done it. You've saved it.
It's meant to be, alright.
It's meant to be.
It's excellent, this.
Get it?
Pardon?
You get it?
You get it?
Excellent.
Excellent, get it? See, she's good. So I'm going to put the egg there, alright?
Yeah.
And then we'll wrap it.
Okay. Got it.
You know, I think it's more authentic with the fact that a dog savaged the wrapper.
It looks like it's got like, yeah, in the factory it's got a bit
Yeah, why would they even do that?
used.
It's a bit like Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
This house has been very much like
Yeah.
Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my,
Da, 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 da.
oh my god.
Bye.
You look like you're actually in an egg.
I do look. It looks
Right.
like it's my body.
That's it. I don't know if, hopefully you've got enough wrapper.
I hope so.
Oh. Oh. Right. It's going to need a little bit of tape, hang on. We've got our artistic directors behind there. They alright, kids?
Yeah.
They're like saying it looks alright.
It's just like
Oh, it's still wet on there. I did quite a lump of paint. Alright. Don't touch the blob.
it says Kinder Egg, a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
Now that looks half okay already. We'll get there. Right, we've just had a bit of a photo shoot. What do you think?
Big.
It's a big egg, right?
Yeah, big. It's like as big as the whole wide world. Well, not as big.
I think the rips in it add kind of character.
It makes it look more real.
Yes.
It's, what's the word? Authentic.
Let's get this party started.
I'm just putting it off like that.
That's it.
Maybe that's the magic mirror.
Alright, and let's not get paint on the worktop. Alright. Is that a big egg, girls?
Yeah, it's a huge
Is it excellent?
Yes. Get it? Excellent. I don't want to.
Take it in turns if you want.
Ready? Oh.
Oh no, my masterpiece! Oh!
She's going in.
Echoey in there.
Oh.
Sounds like a drum. Hi, Kinder Egg.
Boston, what are you thinking, mate?
Hurry up and drop some.
It smells so nice.
Keep expecting like a
Oh my god! You naughty children.
Sorry.
I've told you about smashing giant Kinder Eggs in the house. You alright? Guys.
Oh my god.
Want some chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh look, there's a toy inside.
Treasure chest.
What could it be?
Careful, this is going to topple over in a minute.
Shall I hold this
Yeah, you take that out of the way, you see.
Oh, it's like our baby. Oh. Oh my goodness.
It really is like a baby.
I think this is heavier than Chloe.
Oh my gosh.
Hey! Kinder Eggs
Oh my
inside Kinder Eggs. I guess you guys are hungry for Kinder Egg, right?
Yeah.
Happy Easter.
Oh yeah, Easter. Actually, about Easter. Tomorrow's Palm Sunday.
Yeah, well, we were going to be giving this away to some other kids. We can't give that bit away, but we can give that half away. That'll be alright.
And I think we can give some of these away.
Yes. Although I think this guy is tempted, and this one's just got a fetish for actually just eating the wrappers. Thanks for that, Amy. Well, we've got some tidying up to do.
And some eating to do.
Alright, guys, is that the coolest thing ever?
Yeah. Best thing ever in my whole life.
Really? Best thing ever? Yeah. I love how Mrs. Barry and I both dressed as tea towels with the checks.
Coordinated today, aren't
Yeah.
we?
Well, that was worth it. Left me hanging.
Sorry.
Hope you enjoyed the giant food, folks. Wanted to do this one for house food.
House food.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, not up to much. Nah. You're not eating all that, are you, kids?
No.
Well, I'm going to finish it anyway. Check out the rest of the Giant Food playlist. Have a marathon. Let me know any Giant Food you want to see down below. Subscribe for regular videos if you're not already. And don't forget to follow My Virgin Kitchen on social media at My Virgin Kitchen. Oh, look at that. Hello, everybody. Hope you're well. I am excited about today's video. In fact, you could say I'm nuts about it. That's right. Despite the the nuts on the floor, hello, doesn't matter that they're a little bashed up like that because they're going to get generally whizzed up anyway. So this is another Ask Barry. I had this tweet the other day to make homemade Nutella, but not just any Nutella. It's genius. I love this idea, having a chunky Nutella with actual like chunky bits of nut in it. Oh. So thank you to Luca1 on Twitter for that request. Oh, really attractive, aren't you? Yes, a real Luca. And I absolutely love the concept of making my own Nutella. I've just brushed my teeth. Tastes like mouthwash. But Luca is right. It's not just about the Nutella smoothness. Why don't they do? You know, like you get smooth peanut butter and chunky. Why don't they do that? So that is what I'm going to be doing. And then we're going to do a Barry spin on it. I'm not sure, but I think they're made by Ferrero. Yes, they are. Nutella is made by Ferrero. But what else is made by Ferrero that's the shade of Amy? Bueno filling. Yes, you know in a Kinder Bueno you get that gorgeous white chocolatey filling. I am going to do not only the homemade Nutella first of all, but then I'm going to do a twist of it by layering a Bueno filling in there. So like a super Nutella Bueno. Oh my gosh. Should we do it? Yes, we shall. Let's go. All right, first thing we are going to do is get our oven and preheat it. I'm going to go for 160C fan to 180C because we're going to toast our nuts. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to ask me, Barry, can we make this sort of nut-free? I don't know about that, but if you don't like nuts, you probably don't have Nutella anyway. But if you don't like hazelnuts, there's probably other types of nuts, you know, almonds and stuff. You could do your own version of it like that. Be all right. So here are these nuts, and they're all hazelnuts. And there's one little rogue bag in there, which I'll show you here. These are chopped, roasted ones that you already get in the supermarket. They're already roasted, they're already skins removed, they're already chopped. All the good stuff is done for you. I'm going to use that for some texture at the end. But the rest of them are blanched hazelnuts. Now, the good thing we're going to do is we're going to roast these because not only does that add more flavorness, that sort of charness, it actually helps to break them up as well and whizzes them easier. A real nice nutty aroma in the kitchen, especially if you're a squirrel, you'll love that step. The most important thing, and this is just a complete accident, but it's almost perfectly filled my tray and they're all level. This looks like a production line, huh? You can, if you don't want to do this in the oven, you can put them into a frying pan and then just keep them moving, but you need to be careful because they can catch very, very quickly. Right, let's stick them in there. Okay, and this will not take long. Probably going to be about 8 to 10 minutes. You're going to give off that real nutty squirrel scent, as I say, but do keep your eye on it because you do not want them to be completely charred because that'll just look like coal. Oh. You smell that? You look at the colour difference on that. You see that? Amazing. We're not going to get it perfectly all the same colour. Some of them tan better than others, just like people sunbathing. The smell is insane. It smells like the Nutty Professor's warehouse. Did he have a warehouse? I haven't seen that film, but I feel like I'm summoning squirrels right now. Now you can hear if you... I don't know if you can hear. No. No, it didn't do it. But obviously the energy in those nuts, they're like going, they're kind of like sort of fizzing a little bit. So we need to cool these down fully. So whilst they were in the oven, I was just kind of having a little rouse on my phone, looking at the news and stuff. And the top article in the BBC right now, as I look at it, is about some pistachios in Sicily. If I thought hazelnuts were expensive, these are some pistachios that have 24-hour police protection, including helicopters monitoring them, because they're worth so much money. So if ever you're in Sicily and you want some pistachios, probably pay for your flights home. I know what you're thinking, those criminals are nutters. We have got some milk chocolate here. I'm going to bung this in the microwave. We're just going to melt this up. Good old classic style, 30-second blast, stir it. We just want it nice and melted. There we go, just like that, nice and lump-free. I'm not sure if you can hear, it's like snap, crackle and pop like the cereal. And in fact, that was one thing I was going to add to pimp up my Nutella, but we're not. Listen. Can you hear that? This is like ASMR. I have had some requests to make ASMR videos in the past, so if you really, really want to see that, let me know. The remaining steps are mostly going to happen in a blender. Now, this is my really high-powered one that I use a lot. In fact, some of you have actually gone out and bought this one, but this is 1200 watts, okay? We really want to grind up those hazelnuts as much as we can. I have an announcement. Here are my oh, I've done it again. Here are some hazelnuts. All right. 150 grams of those. It might be a little bit over, but hey, it's all good. There we go. But what I'm going to do... Oh wow, that was fun. And I only missed one. And I'm going to whizzy, whizzy, whizzy. So what you can see is you can actually buy ground hazelnuts and almonds and stuff in the store. You kind of have that texture there, but it's starting to get this slightly more pasty band around there. Pasty, hi, I'm pasty band in there. You just got to keep working through it. You see how it's forming more of like a, it's still a little bit warm, hence it's steaming up. Let's let it out. It's kind of like, yeah, it's pasty. That's what you want. So in here is some vanilla extract. This is probably about half a teaspoon of that going in. And someone sent me the full steps on how to make your own from scratch vanilla extract. So it takes about a month. I will be doing a video on that, okay? I think that's gonna be really fun. Gonna add in a pinch of salt, some cocoa powder, 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of icing sugar, which generally does go everywhere, as I've always mentioned. This is some vegetable oil because we already had it here in the house. So we'll get our lid for now. God, I just took the lid off. I was like, I've forgotten something. The chocolate. Did kind of mix it for me though when I just turned it upside down, which is quite nice. But look, the chocolate is going in, which is still a little warmed as well, so that's going to be runny, and it should help form a nice smooth mix. So this is where we really give it a good old whiz. All right, so that, with a little bit of a stir, is basically Nutella. And if you want to see, check this out. Oh, look at that. Now it's still a little bit warm, which in the world of Nutella is not a bad thing. If you ever want to get Nutella out of a tub easy, bung it in the microwave for 30 seconds to warm it through. Just make sure you take the foil off. The microwave does not like that. But this, once it cools down properly, will be super, super good. Although it's not fully done yet for us, is it? That's right, we are not done yet, because to make our chunky Luca desired Nutella, we're going to take some extra of the roasted nuts. Now, again, this is up to you. You could buy those chopped ones in the supermarket just to give it a little bit of texture, because that's as smooth as a baby's bum. Just that little bit of roughness. But I'm thinking Luca wants chunky, you know, like proper nuts. So, I'm literally just like bonking them on the head, like that, and they're sort of shattering. They're going on my floor. I should use a Ziploc bag, but I just wanted to demonstrate it a bit so you could see it a bit closer. Look, you see, that's what I want, where it's sort of halved and it's just like a chunk like that. It's not too small, but also not a massive like nut on its own. So if I just like, bonk, little bonk on the head like that, look, shards, kryptonite of your hazelnuts. And I shouldn't have done that. There we go. So with a little bit of bonking, which is a phrase I thought I'd never use in a cooking video, we've got ourselves some lovely rough chopped hazelnuts to stir, freshly roasted, into our homemade Nutella. That's a thumbs up. All right. You can see how warm that still is, how much movement there is in it, but once it goes to room temperature, it will be nice and spreadable. All right, so in go those chopped nuts. I've added a little bit more, about another sort of 2 tablespoons worth, because I really want that chunky texture in there, which feels a bit strange after going through the process of whizzing it up, but I'm just going to gently fold it so it coats it and hugs those roasted hazelnuts. Oh my gosh, you can see it. Can you see the bumps and the lumps in the chocolate? That's what we want. Almost like one of those nutty chocolate bars. I'd be very surprised if there isn't a spread like this that exists. I've certainly never heard of it, but don't be surprised if Nutella suddenly do it in a year's time, or if you want, you could do this and start selling it on Etsy or something. So there we go. Without the chunky nuts added, that is Nutella. Lovely. With the chunky nuts, that's Luca's desired chunky Nutella. Now, we'll let this set in the fridge and we'll do the Bueno. For the Bueno spread, we're gonna try and make it as similar as possible. So I've got white chocolate this time, clean the bowl. I have that melting in the background. And again, we've got 150 grams of the roasted nuts. We're gonna whizzy whizzy. So this has been completely cleaned. There's not a trace of the milk chocolate anymore. Yeah. You get the drill. Just don't burn your white chocolate, all right? Melting the chocolate is actually optional for this and the Nutella. That's why we had to wait for it to cool down a little bit. But if you're using a high-powered blender, you could just chuck it in and whiz it up to break it up a bit. I just prefer it being like a smooth texture like this, so it kind of bonds the ingredients easier. All right, so just like before, pinch of salt, same amount of vanilla extract, so about half a teaspoon. Now this is a mixture of oil and milk. So it's vegetable oil and milk, half and half, 150 ml of each. And finally, our melted chocolate. I've got a jar of sugar here to one side because with the oil and the milk and all that going in, you just still want to make sure it's got that taste, but we can add that if we need it. See the colour? Huh? Bueno. I think we're done. We'll taste it. If it needs any sugar, if it needs thickening, you can add corn flour, but only a little bit at a time. Oh. No, that's the blade. I was going to lick it. No. All right. Oh, it's warm. That is amazing. That is amazing. I want to drink. Done. All right, let's get this out. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I can tell you, this is building up very nicely to a giant Kinder Bueno, isn't it? Yes, it is. So as I'm making my own sort of gourmet version of these spreads, I thought, well, I'm not going to leave it just like that, although that is amazing. Still a little bit of movement in it because it's warm, just like before, but that's fine. I'm gonna add some chopped roasted nuts that you buy in the shop that we talked about near the start of the video. A couple of tablespoons of that. And why the heck not? These are some white chocolate chip chunks. Just a few. And work that in. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. So with that done, and my other one already in the fridge, I'm gonna let this cool down and then we'll stick it in a jar and we'll see what it's like. I think it's gonna be nuts. Okay, so look at these chunks. Look at that going in. Oh my gosh. You can see how much it's firmed up already. These are just some jars, mason jars I bought from the supermarket. Oh, get in there. So I'm going to save that. Ooh, apart from that, there we go. Look, what a mess. But that is good. But this, this should look better. Should. So I'm going to spoon in the chunky Nutella. Oh, I love how those halved nuts that we bashed up are just sitting up on the surface. We then get the Bueno. Oh, I hope this looks cool. I'm praying that it will. Should create like a band. Oh, look at that. And then some more Nutella on top. I love that. I need to top this one up a little bit more. There we go. So we've got the gourmet chunky Nutella and the Bueno Nutella. Oh, you better try it, haven't we? There you go, mate. Meet your new family. I think it's actually pronounced Nutella, isn't it? But I just got to say Nutella. I hope I'm not the only one. All right, I've just put my lids on and they would make quite a funky little gift. And just like the popular game, Fortnite, if you keep your lids on airtight, these actually keep for 2 weeks. I should clarify, I meant Fortnite as in 2 weeks, not getting rid of the game Fortnite in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully you've done that already. So this is my favourite way to actually have Nutella or Nutella on some nice charred toast. Oh, if you want to get into debate about toast, which I did on Twitter, don't go down the route of tea. I've started a huge thread, by the way. Warmed toast. And I do like to put butter on it. And also my finger. because I like this sort of salty contrast. Oh my gosh, look at the chunks. It's still warm, this one. It's such a hot day in this kitchen as well. It's not helping. You do need to let it set properly, but look at this. The chunks are sat on there. Deary me. Look at that. This is brilliant. It's got to exist somewhere, surely. The Bueno one. Oh, look. I can get a bit of both on there. Look at this. Oh, I love that. And of course, this one's got the white chocolate chunks and the chunky nuts and the small chopped roasted ones as well. Triple whammy. Wow. The only thing I would say is, yeah, it probably needs a good hour, maybe 2 hours in the fridge. But other than that, I'm going to eat this right now. Oh, the crunch. It is so smooth. The freshness of the hazelnuts in there as well. And you get that crunch just slaps it right at the end. It tastes insane. And I was expecting to be a little bit gritty still, even with that blender. It's perfect. And this reaction goes out to someone that tweeted me the other day and said, Barry, why do you have to overreact all the time when you eat your food? So I'm going to be like, nice. There you go. That was actually off the back of the PB&J burger, which just blew my mind. And that's blew my mind. So I really hope you try it. That's it. Any requests for another Ask Barry, let me know on social media. I'll give it a go. And I'll see you next time. Bye.